Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today. For practice, you'll need, if you have it, a blanket, some yoga blocks, um, or any other props that you feel like you might need. But that should be it. Um, and I do have Franco, Fritz, and Sam running around, so someone will probably join here eventually. I'm sure, as always. All right, so to start, let's come to a cross-legged seat, so whatever's comfortable for you. You can sit up on a towel or a blanket, and that will elevate your hips up a little bit above the knees and give you some more height. Um, and then your hands can be facing up or down, whatever's comfortable for you. And you can soften the gaze, or if it feels good to you, you can also close the eyes. So we're going to start today's practice just getting really centered and focused. Take a big breath in, hold at the top, and then let it go. Take another deep inhale, holding at the top, and then let it go. And you can breathe out of your nose or your mouth, again, whatever feels comfortable for you. So go ahead and take a few more breaths on your own, just focusing on the inhale. Hold for a few seconds after you inhale, and then exhale, either again out through the nose, or if you've had a really stressful week or day, just out through the mouth, just let it all go. While you're focusing on your breath, you can even set an intention for today's practice. And that can be anything, just finding relaxation, maybe stretching, even taking time to just focus on you and blocking out anything else around you. We'll take a few more breaths before we move on. So inhaling deeply and fully, feeling the air expand through the belly and chest and ribs. And on an exhale, just letting it all go, feeling everything deflate. All right, one more big inhale. And then just sigh it out and exhale. When you're ready, you can start to refocus your gaze or open your eyes. Fritz has joined me while we were breathing, and here comes a Franco bean. Hi, Franco. Ooh, gross. All right, so we'll continue on. If you have any pets around, go ahead and pet them, say hello. Oh, I'm hoping his tail does not turn off my computer right now. All right, let's get into practice. So when you're ready, take a big inhale. Let's take another exhale. All right. So we'll take our left hand, not hands. No. And place that on your right knee. With your right hand, and here comes Sam. With your right hand, swim that around behind your back. So we're going to come into a bit of a seated twist. So on an inhale, extend Extend up, lengthen through the back, and on an exhale, twist to the right, look to the short edge of that right end of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, see if you can go further into the twist. And breathe. Just kind of waking up the spine a little bit. One more inhale. And on your next exhale, go ahead and let it go. Return to center. And we'll take just a couple breaths here. Feel the difference on both sides. All right, when you're ready, we'll move to the other side. So go ahead and take your right hand, place it on your left knee. We're going to take our left fingertips, swim them around behind us. On an inhale, lengthen up through your spine, sit up nice and tall, and on an exhale, go ahead and twist to turn, come to turn, look towards the left, twist towards the left. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, twist. And while you're twisting, you don't need to crank, you don't need to pull yourself, don't use this arm that's on that leg to pull yourself further. Really go only as far as feels comfortable in your body. And that's going to be different between anybody that's practicing. That's going to be different even within an individual from day to day. One more big inhale. And on an exhale, go ahead and return to center. And we'll just take a couple breaths here. You can make any movements that feel comfortable to you. If you need to move your shoulders or anything like that, go ahead and feel free to do so. And that is a whiny Franco in the background. Yes, we're talking about you. Whiny. All right. So we're going to transition into a tabletop position. We're going to continue to warm up the spine. And if you'd like a little bit more padding under your knees, you can leave this blanket or towel down, and that'll pad your knees a little bit. Or you can remove it. Completely up to you. So go ahead and come to a flat back. So hands stacked underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, keeping your gaze kind of forward, not bringing your neck up or letting it hang down. So just nice. You have a nice straight line, or as straight as you can get it for yourself. On an inhale, we're going to drop the lower ribs, lift the tail, lift your head and chest, coming into a cow pose and breathe. And on an exhale, go ahead and tuck the tail, tuck your head, round through the spine. We're going to come into a cat pose. Inhale, look forward, drop the lower ribs, lift the head, lift the tail. Cat or cow. Exhale, go ahead and round through the spine, lower the tail, lower the head. Cat. So do a few more just on your own inhales and exhales, so on your own timing. You can even stay in a pose if it feels good to you. So really listen and to what your body needs today. Again, on the inhale, you'll lift the tail, lift the head and chest, dropping the lower ribs to a cow. And on an exhale, tuck the tail, tuck the head, lift through the upper back. After your next exhale, go ahead and come back to your tabletop position. All right. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and send out our right foot. And you can rock back and forth, just kind of warming up through the calf and the leg. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lift that leg or that foot up off the ground. Make sure to keep your toes dialed down. You don't want them coming out or going like the opposite way. So try and keep your hips square to the mat and your weight even in between your hands and in between this leg that's down. And then make sure to keep this foot that's in the air, your right foot, active. And breathe. Make sure to keep breathing. If you want to go a little further, you can take your left arm and you can extend it forward. So coming into a little bit of like a bird dog. Make sure to keep your gaze down so you're not cranking your neck one way or the other. Make sure to keep breathing and balance that weight between that hand and that foot that's still in contact with the earth. One more big inhale, and on an exhale, return back to your tabletop position. We'll take a couple breaths here. Just again, compare both sides. You can take any movements you want. You can do some cat-cows, or you can or shift your hips left and right, wag your tail, whatever feels good to you. Franco thinks it feels good to be a whiny boy. Yes, he does. All right, when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and move to the other side. So we will stretch out our left foot. I'm going to move up here a little bit. And again, coming on those toes, you can rock forward and back, kind of stretching out your calf and that leg muscle. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring that to stillness, and we're going to lift that toe off the ground. Remember to keep your toes, that pinky toe dialed down to the floor, foot engaged. And we'll take some breaths here. If you'd like a little more, you can take your right hand and reach forward. So again, coming into that bird dog. Remember to keep breathing. Go. One more big inhale, reach, stretch, and exhale, lower everything back down to a tabletop position. From here, bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes touch. You can walk your fingertips a little bit in front of you if you'd like. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, shift to come back into an extended child's pose. Now you can lower your Franco. Hush. You can lower your forehead to the mat if you'd like, or you can bring a block, or you can stay up a little bit. So again, do whatever feels right in your body and make sure to keep breathing. Franco. Sorry, guys. On your next inhale, look forward, and then go ahead and come back to that tabletop position. Leave your hands a little bit in front of you. So you don't want to bring them directly back underneath your shoulder at all. So go ahead and leave them placed a little bit in front of you. We're going to tuck our toes, press into your thumb, your pointer finger, and your middle finger. On an inhale, go ahead and lift the knees and hover. And on an exhale, straighten through the knees, lift the hips up and back, push through the arms, and we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. Now from here, you can walk your dog. if you'd like, by bending one knee and then straightening through the other leg, or you can just bring it to stillness and breathe. After your next exhale, on your next inhale, I should say, look forward at your hands, and then you can either hop, jump, walk, step, but bring your feet up towards the backs of your hands. And while I am here, I'm going to remove this blanket. I'm going to fix my shirt real quick. And we're going to come into a forward fold. So this is where you can use blocks if you have them to bring the floor up to you a little bit. The main thing is that you don't want to be rounding in your spine to come down. You don't want to do that. You want to keep your spine still as lengthened as possible. You should feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings. So you can always start out here. You can bring the blocks to this lower level also. Again, just do whatever feels right in your body today. So on an inhale, go ahead and come halfway up. Keep a nice flat back. And on an exhale, forward fold. Also, while you're in this forward fold, make sure to keep a little bit of a bend in your knee. You don't want to hyperextend your knees by keeping your legs too straight. And just let your head hang, let your body hang. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and roll all the way up. Loop your shoulders up, back, and down. Look forward, bring your hands to your side. We're going to come into our first mountain pose. So standing up nice and tall and strong. You can close the eyes if you'd like. Feel your feet really rooting firmly into the ground, establishing that connection between us and the earth. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring your arms up, overhead to touch. And then on an exhale, float the arms back down, shift the hips back, and come back into your forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, come back into your forward fold. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and step our right foot back and then lower onto that knee. Make any adjustments on your left foot to make sure that your knee is over your ankle and is at this kind of a 90-degree angle. You don't want that knee coming over your toes, so you want to keep that nice and straight. So we're coming in to a low lunge here. So you might need to scoot your leg back a little bit. But look forward, keep your chest nice and lifted while you're here. You can also tuck the toes under if it feels more stable to you. You can use a blanket under that knee. You can also use your blocks here in this lunge to bring the ground up to you a little bit if needed. And breathe. After your next exhale, we're going to shift our hips back, peel the toes of our left foot up, and we're going to come into a bit of a hamstring stretch. So again, keep a nice lift in your chest, back straight, and you should feel a nice stretch in that left hamstring. And then, no, go lay down. Franco, no. Franco, go lay down. All right, after your next exhale, go ahead and roll back through that left foot. We're going to come back into our low lunge. If your hands are not on the floor, make sure they're pressed on the floor. Tuck the toes of your right foot under. Lift the knee and look forward, and you can kind of rock forward and back on that toe. And when you're ready, step that right foot up to meet your left foot, and we're going to come back into our forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, release into that forward fold. And breathe. All right, when you're ready, we'll go ahead and come to the other side. So go ahead and we're going to step our left foot back and then come onto that knee, and you can untuck the toes if you'd like. Make sure that right leg is in a 90-degree angle, that it's not going over your toes. And then make sure to press the knee out towards your little toe. So you should be able to see your big toe. Chest nice and lifted, back nice and straight. You should be feeling a nice stretch through your left quad in the front. And remember to keep breathing. And after your next exhale, go ahead and shift the hips back, heel your toes forward, and kind of bring them towards your face. So that way, I know you guys can't see me right now because of the dogs, but bring your toes in towards your face. And breathe. Right, and then when you're ready, go ahead and roll through that front foot, coming back into that low lunge. Breathe. All right, and then we're going to tuck our toes on our back leg. So on that left leg, left leg, lift the knee up, look forward, and then when you're ready, you can rock forward and back. And we're going to bring our back foot up to meet our front foot, and we're going to come into our forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release and forward fold. If you can, I'm just going to hang out here on a Franco. It's now playtime apparently. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and boys, go lay down. Come on, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Hey, go lay down. Come on. All right. Come on. One. Try to make sure no one's behind me as I do this. All right. We're going to try this. I'm going to step my right foot back and come into that lunge again. But this time I'm not going to lower my back knee. If you feel like you would like to lower your back knee, go ahead and do that. That's perfectly fine. That's one option. If you'd like to take it up a notch, I'm going to make sure no one's bouncing into me. There we go. All right, so we're going to come into a nice high lunge. So make sure to bend through that front foot. You guys are going to watch me come crashing down here. Okay, all right, we might be okay. So make sure to square your hips off. Make sure again to keep that leg pushing out towards that knee pushing out towards your little toe. Make sure to stay nice and engaged through your torso. So it should be nice and straight. Leg reaching nice and long here. Breathing. And on your next exhale, go ahead and come back to forward. Franco, no. Stop. Guys, go on. Hey, go on. Get off my bolster. All right, so we have our hands back onto the ground. Step your left leg back to meet your right leg, and we're going to come into a plank. So push through the heels, really push through your upper body, feeling nice and solid, and then try and make as straight of a line as you can from your tail to your head, just looking down, and breathe. When you're ready, you can lower all the way down, or you can lower your knees first and then your upper body. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. And on your inhale, press up, slightly looking forward. So we're coming into a cobra. Oh my goodness. Try and fix everything here. Breathe. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and release your forehead down. Tuck your toes under. You can push yourself up to a plank. And then on an exhale, lift your hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. And we'll take a few breaths here. Maybe everyone will lay down now. After your next exhale, look forward and then step, hop, jump, walk. However you'd like to get to the top of your mat, go ahead and make your way there. And we're going to come back into our forward fold. So on an inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, let it all go. Forward fold. And breathe. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to step our left foot back. And again, you can lower onto that knee, or if you'd like to come up to the next, I don't want to say level, but another variation. You can go ahead and lift your torso up, coming into that high lunge. So again, your front leg should be at a 90-degree angle, knee pushing to the outside towards your pinky toe. Make sure that you're nice and strong through that back leg. Chest should be up, back straight, breathing. Your next exhale, go ahead and lower your hands towards the floor, and we're going to step our right leg back to meet the left, coming into a plank. Again, try and keep the body as straight as possible. We'll take just a couple breaths here. And then after your next exhale, you can either lower your knees to the floor, or you can lower all the way down and come to the belly. And on an inhale, we're going to come back into that cobra. So you can either keep it low in this little baby cobra, or you can push through your hands and come up higher. If you feel any pain in your back though, lower down a little bit. Fritz, go on. They are not making this easy today. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower back down towards the floor. Tuck your toes under, and you can either come to all fours, or you can push yourself up into a plank. And on an exhale, lift the hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. Take another couple breaths here. For your next exhale, go ahead and lower your knees down to the mat. Again, we're going to take our knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, send your hips back. And we're going to come into an extended child's pose. So lower the forehead to the mat or to your block. And breathe. Let's take a couple moments here just to kind of cool down a little bit. On your next inhale, look forward, shift forward, and we're going to come back into our tabletop position. We're going to get into some hip openers. So all right, so we're going to extend back again, kind of like we did through that bird dog before. So we're going to extend through our right leg. This time, bring it up on an inhale, and then on an exhale, bend through that knee, bring it in between your hands, and then you can scoot your left leg back. So we're going to, let me move this a little bit, see if you can see it a little better. So we're coming into a pigeon pose. Now your leg doesn't have to be at a 90-degree angle like this. You can bring that heel in. You can stay up here. If you'd like, Franco, that is enough. Hey, I'll lay down. That is enough. Shh. It's time to calm down. Sorry. Joys of the at-home yoga practice with dogs. You can breathe. Or if you don't feel like being up here in this tall pigeon, you can do a reclining pigeon by walking your hands down. And then you can even bring your forehead to the mat, or if you have a block, you can bring your forehead to a block too. Just whatever feels good in your body today. So we'll stay here for a few moments and breathe. When you're ready, go ahead and push yourself up. We're going to tuck the toes on our back foot, on our left foot, and just kind of come up back into a tabletop position there. So just push yourself back up into a tabletop position. Go ahead and curl both toes for underneath. And on an inhale, go ahead and hover in tabletop for a moment. And on an exhale, let it go, coming back down into that downward facing dog. And breathe. On an inhale, lift your left foot up. And on an exhale, go ahead and bring that left foot in, coming into a pigeon posture on your other side. So you can walk that right leg back if you need to. Again, you can use any props that you need to help get into this posture. So you can even use a block underneath this leg that's extended if it's coming up too much to bring you more to the earth. You can stay extended, or if you'd like, you can walk your hands forward and bring that forehead down to the mat. And we'll breathe here for just a little bit. Next inhale, go ahead and look forward. Start to make your way back into that tall pigeon pose, I guess. And then when you're ready, make your way back into a tabletop position. Curling the toes one last time. On an inhale, we're going to lift the knees and hover. And exhale, straighten through the knees, lift the hips up and back and down. And we're going to breathe. This is our last downward facing dog. A squeaky ball apparently. When you're ready, we're going to walk our knees just kind of halfway up the mat, and then go ahead and kind of cross your ankles, squat down, and we're going to come into a seat. I'm going to wait for them to move off my mat here. All right, so once you're back on your mat, go ahead and come to lay flat. Try to move all this around a little bit. There we go. So come to lay flat on your back, and then bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug here. All right, and go ahead and let that go. Bring the insides of your feet together and then open through your legs kind of like a book. So we're coming into a reclined cobbler's pose. If your knees don't touch the ground, that's okay. You can bring blocks under your knees to support them if you'd like. You can place your hands on your belly. You can place a hand on the belly and one on your heart. You can close down the eyes for a moment if you'd like. And we're just going to breathe. Your next exhale, take your hands on the outsides of your knees or your legs, and then go ahead and bring them together and bring your feet flat on the floor. Once your feet are flat on the floor, we're going to take a little bit of a counter pose. So walk your feet as wide as the mat. I am hoping that I don't get trampled on right now. And then let your knees fall in towards each other. So before we open through the hips, and now we're kind of closing. We're doing that counter pose to kind of close back through the hips a little bit. And we've done a few hip openers through this practice, like the pigeon posture, and then that cobbler's pose. And the hips hold and store a lot of emotions. So if you feel anything coming up after you practice this or even during it, that's okay. Let it come up and just process it as it comes up. Work through it. Move your body. Feel that emotion. Sometimes things get stuck, so it's good to move and to work those things out so that way they're not blocking our energy. A few more breaths here. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring your feet back in alignment with your hips. Toes on the feet on flat on the floor, knees facing up. And then we can go ahead and extend our legs out. Bring them as wide as the mat. You can bring your hands out a little bit at like a 45-degree angle. And we're going to come into our final resting posture. So our corpse pose or Shavasana, if you're able to. Or Or you can be on a Franco and just breathe while they push you off of the mat, because apparently this is what we're doing now. I'm going to take over my mat. Oh, this is so ridiculous. All right. So go ahead, have a laugh at that. Fritz is getting into his Shavasana pose, so we'll just let him get into his Shavasana there. So go ahead and you can soften your gaze. You can close down your eyes. Again, whatever feels comfortable to you. And just breathe and let the benefits of the practice just marinate throughout your body. I'm going to take away the squeaky ball, possibly. And you guys relax and rest. I will keep watch of the time. Now, everyone that has done any of my classes before knows that I pull an oracle card for each class and kind of base a theme around it a little bit. And I usually use an animal deck. I switched it up this time and I used my Elated Earth deck, which is from a local person here in Kansas City. And the card I pulled today was Faith, and it's kind of a little image of a caterpillar here. And we have zoomies. So with this Faith card, it says, faith is acting upon what you do not yet see. Do not allow your mind and heart to be polluted with fear and doubt. Instead, pause and regroup, steadying your focus once again upon your sacred work. Your dreams are purposeful. Butterflies and moths are symbols of transformation. Yet it is the caterpillar's surrender into faith that allows for the transformation. Is there an area of your life in which you are holding doubt? Do not judge yourself for doing so. Instead, pause, allowing your feelings to emerge, as suppressing only increases the intensity. However, instead of allowing your doubts to become the ruler of your thoughts and emotions, see them for what they are. Energy patterns ready to be cleared and released in order to make space for experiencing what lights you up. After allowing them space, take a few breaths to clear those doubts away. Then look to the strength of the little caterpillar, who surrenders into complete faith in order to emerge in their brilliance. Rest as you need to rest. Then continue forward in that same faith as you and the caterpillar are kindred. So if you have time to allow yourself to rest longer in Shavasana, please do so. And if not, then go ahead and start to deepen your breaths, coming back into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Excuse me. When you're ready, go ahead and roll to your favorite side. And come into a little fetal position. Stay there as long as you'd like. Just take a little bit of extra time to breathe. And then once you're ready, go ahead and push yourself up. Come to a comfortable seated position. Bringing your head and neck up last. All right, thank you so much for spending your time and your energy and sharing your practice with me. As you can see, it's a little bit crazy. I was off for a couple of weeks on vacation, so just trying to allow myself to recharge and taking that time to rest. These guys were boarded, so you can see that they are crazy today. So I apologize. Hopefully it didn't bother anybody too much, but this is my craziness, so kind of is what it is. And I won't be posting this on the day, but Chiefs are playing today, so go Chiefs. It's not, it's okay. All right. If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe. This is going to be a private video on my Patreon account, so you can't share it, unfortunately, but you can share my Patreon link to anyone that you think might be able to use it. It houses all of the different practices. I try and release one a week, if possible. And by subscribing to my Patreon account, you have access to all of them. So you can go back and practice other ones that are there posted for you too. All right, so let's go ahead. You can rub your hands together if you'd like to bring some feeling back into your hands. Go ahead and bring them to heart center. Again, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy and your practice with me. I'm going to try to not have this chair move. Yes, you guys are on a chair. Namaste. Thank you. Have a great night and a great week. Bye.